So when you do idgham with gunna, you enter them upon each other and they become like one, right? However, you have to add the gunna, which gives it one more. So it's like you have two lengths, okay? لكنها قسمان قسم يدغم فيه بغنة بينمو علما. Let's look at that. ينمو. We say ya. Ya is the first letter we're going to look at here when we do gunna. We do idgham bi gunna. And the first word we're going to have is an yadrib. Say an yadrib. Say first say an. That's how we have it, right? An. Yadrib. We say yadrib. Yadrib. Now, this is how you but don't worry about that. This is how you see it immediately. However, this is what's you're going to see. You're not going to see any sukoon in the Quran when you read it. There will be no sukoon over the noon. Because the sukoon is going to point, that little sign I put right there, is going to point to that you establish that noon sound. And the absence of it means something's happening. You'll note that in your masahif, in your books of Quran. And then you'll see a shadda on the ya. A shadda, everybody go like this. This means shadda, strength, right? It looks like a little W, but in actuality, it is a sheen that has the tail cut off and the dots, the diacritical marks, taken away. Okay? So only thing that's left is the points that make it look like a little W. The sheen is equal to the word shidda, which means to strengthen something. As a terminology, what it does, it's a sign. When you see it in the mushaf, to tell you, strengthen this letter. Strengthen this letter. Usually this letter says yadrib, right? Yadrib, not drib. It's not dra. There's no diphthong like that. It's yadrib. Right? The ra is by itself. The ra comes by itself. Say rib. Here, this is yadrib. So get used to that practice. Because Americans, we mix letters together. We say tra. تحركي هذه اللابتوب إلى الجنب الثاني. شكرا. لا هناك على الجدار. So we have to start separating. But here it's telling us دخل الشيء في شيء. Enter this noon onto this ya until it becomes like what? One. So it's like you put it here, you put the ya here, you strengthen the ya, the noon comes over here like that. Okay? So it's almost invisible. Remember we said cover and concealment? We mentioned that? It's like it's in the bushes. And the ya is still here. But you strengthen the ya. So which sound do you hear more of? Yeah. The ya. So what you do with your mouth, pay attention. You get ready to make the an sound. Everybody say an. And my mama say, don't you fix your mouth up to... So you fix your mouth up to say an. But you don't say an. You do not establish the an sound. You say a and then you go to the ya. Ay. You see that? Ay yadrib. You see, you say ay, like you're about to say an, but you go to the ya. Say ya. Ay yadrib. Ay yadrib. Don't say dr. There's no dr sound in Arabic. It's yadrib. No, yadrib. Right, the ra is separate. That's tajweed. Tajweed is to give every letter its own sound. This is a secondary point, has nothing to do with idgham. But you pronounce each letter by itself until there's a sukoon, and that's only going to be on the letter that it's coming from. You know, the sukoon is going to be on the letter, but the sound's coming from the previous letter. Okay, the vowel sound. Okay? There's no two letters standing next to it. This letter has sukoon, so its sound stops right there. It doesn't affect the ra. So you don't say dr. You see what I'm saying? You don't say dr. This sound stops with that fatha. Yalb. Now this one starts rib. If you're going to keep going, you would say ri. only. Ri, ri. And then ba, riba. Not riba, but riba. Each one, its own sound. That's why people shouldn't rush to recite Quran. Recite it nice and slow. Ay yadrib. Ay yadrib. Or ay yadriba. That's what we said. وَلَيْسَ بَيْنَهُ وَبَيْنَ تَرْكِهِ إِلَّا رِيَادَةُ امْرِئٍ بِفَكِّهِ. There's nothing from you doing it or leaving it off except the man exercising his jaw. أَن يَضْرِبْ. And after a while you get to do it easier without a whole bunch of workings, okay? The second one is, let me erase this stuff right here. Excuse me, what? Oh, I should say, con el permiso, mi hermano. Yo no quiero un problema contigo. Como aquí. Now, see. Okay. The next one is Yawma idin. No. There's no izin. It's Yawma idin. Stick your tongue out your teeth. We got to go back to master letters. That's why, no, wallah, that's why we do the letters like this. Because, knowledge, I keep trying to say this over and over again, as great and lofty it is darajat. It is levels and degrees. You can't go over here until you're ready. Everybody got to get 100. And once you master this, now you can master it. You can't master this second science if you haven't mastered the basic. Okay, no disrespect to whoever said that. So it's the. The tip of your tongue slides out, like this is your tongue, this much of it comes out across the board and you bite it. That. You bite it just enough that you don't want it to get hurt and you say that. Yawma idhin. And if you haven't stuck your teeth between your tongue, you didn't make the sound properly. Even if it sounds like it, it ain't right. It's counterfeit. You know what I'm saying? It's a counterfeit sound. Okay? What happened? The sound left? You want me to stop? I mean, if it ain't got no sound, it ain't no benefit. So we just hurry up and just do a quick oil change. Change the tires.